The concept of space is something that musicians struggle with. Can you tell us your struggle with that, and then tell us how you have solved that problem specifically?
Yeah, I mean it's similar to what I said before, being that I started kind of late, and so I've I've had the same experiences that my students have had, whether it's not knowing what to do in certain areas, or just really not having ideas to kind of pull from. What happens is we try to pull from chords or harmonies that aren't really part of what's going on, and so either the bass player or the guitarist or the vocalist or the organist has to accommodate to what we're doing.
Okay.
And that's something that rarely, if ever, works in a live situation. And plus, that's not something that you want to have everyone do. Like, you don't want everyone to always have to accommodate to you every time you want to fill up the gap, right?
Okay.
And so the four techniques that I use are Arpeggios,
Okay.
grace notes,
Okay.
harmonizing, and the targeting chord tones.
Okay. And you'll be able to show some examples and things like that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, for example, if I'm playing "How Great Is Our God," right? Okay, so just so those are the three chords that work. So the way that I would use that arpeggio concept is, right. So that's the D flat. So with something like that, you're literally using the chord that's given to you, and no one has to change what they're doing.
And
so that's
one thing I like about what you're saying right now, Alan, is because a lot of musicians, this sounds like it could be for everybody of multiple skill levels, because there's things that beginners or people who are just playing need, and then there are things that people who are, I call, growing musicians need, and then there are things that advanced people would need. And it sounds to me as if you're addressing kind of multiple levels here, because I guess it would almost seem like, okay, Alan he thinks at such a technical level. What can I, as a beginning musician, gain from it? But I'm hearing that the examples you're showing now, I feel like could be done for a musician who is maybe starting off with just a little bit of years under their belt.
Exactly, and that's actually a good point, because that's the point that I try to press on my students, is that whatever that I'm doing, there's a way to break it down to its simplest form.
Right.
And the way that I approach harmony or music or theory is that I take one simple concept and I build on it.
Right.
But I have to be able to take the complex concept and work backwards and subdivide until I get to its simplest form.
Going backwards, though, one of the ways that he said you could fill the space is to do the arpeggio. What was the second way?
Yeah, the second way is using grace notes.
Grace notes, okay.
Yeah, and grace notes slash trills, and I use like a variation of trills. So let's say most people do stuff like this, or stuff like that. I'm sure we've heard that a ton of times, but there's other trills that I do too. So or grace notes, so stuff like this. Or stuff like no, there's a variation of trills.
There's variations of trills that you have.
Yeah, so and it's all rhythmic based. So something like this. They're all kind of rhythmic based, but that's not.
But I hear you. I hear a lot of that when you're playing. That you use a lot of those grace notes And a lot of people that I have talked to said that they got it from you. So which was interesting, but it's neat because
That
you're
is
saying that you
interesting.
don't have just one way of playing that, though. You have different ways of doing those grace notes, though.
Yeah, and the reason behind that is because of who I listen to, and that's something else that I tell my students. Like, I have a playlist for specific things.
Oh,
So
wow.
I have a playlist on Spotify for phrasing. I have a playlist for harmony, and I actually have a playlist for trills and stuff like that. And so the person that I get a lot of my trills from is Chris Tile, and he's actually I'm not sure if it's a mandolin or a guitar, but it's one of those. But that's what he plays. And if you listen to his records, he has this record. I forget the name of it, but it's him and I forget the jazz pianist's name, but he does a bunch of trills where it's like this, or so like the difference between that is I'm approaching the D a half step away with the E flat. That's the first one, and then I can also approach the D a whole step away with the E, and that gives it more of a major sound.
So there isn't you can literally, because I heard guys arguing about which one it should be, and it seems like you're taking the approach that what kind of sound are you going for?
Exactly.
But we said the three things that fill up space. I actually wrote it, and by the way, everybody, don't forget that our chats are saved as well. So that's why when Alan's saying important things here, I'm also typing in. I'm typing in. So don't forget. Well, we actually saved the chat, we saved the video, and we saved the audio. So right now I have three things here. The first thing that fills up space is arpeggios. Second way to fill up space are grace notes, and there are many ways that you can do that. And by the way, Alan, do you cover the grace notes in your course as well? Is that something that's not really?
I do, and I go into further detail with grace notes, trills, and actually fourths too.
Oh, you do? Okay, perfect. And then what was the third thing, the third way to fill up space?
The third way is harmonizing in six. So essentially, like let's go back to how
Daniela does that a lot too.
she does.
Yes.
She does. Yeah, and she sounds dope. So yeah, this one is pretty simple to understand. So let's say if I'm playing "How Great Is Our God," and I want to create like a melody, like a small little melody to tie in between the changes. So great is our God. So how great. Okay, cool. So I'll take the melody and I just harmonize it in six. And I probably do like a grace note. And this is another grace note that's half step away, going up as opposed to going down.
Right.
From that after that G flat. Let's start with just my right hand. So how. And then you put the left hand in there. Grace note, but it's a whole step away going from down up. That's the fourth thing I was talking about.
Yeah, I've heard you do that movement. What exactly? Can you let's give them something? Let's give them that movement right there that you did. It's an E flat F A flat thing that you did. Can you show exactly what that is?
Yeah, for sure. So there's just a few different things going on. So the right hand, I'm approaching the top note like this, like do ti do type thing.
Okay.
And then, so this is my harmony that I'm trying to get to. But to get to this F, I'm using a grace note that's like whole step down from the E flat going to that F. Okay. Then I'm resolving to that fourth. And my harmonizes with what the right hand is doing. So it's like this.
Mm.
So that's a six, but there's an octave separating the six
I got you.
and the third.
What's the purpose of using by Stephen Mitchell? What's the purpose of using your use of drop two in your playing? Do you only use it for transitional reasons?
No, I use it for whether it's transition or whether it's to highlight a melody. I'm trying to think of a specific situation right now. Or whether it's drop twos or rulers. Like earlier, we were talking about blessed assurance. And so if I'm playing, and I'm in and then I know the melody goes, but over this, it's a D flat triad, right?
Yeah.
So something simple that I could do is use that D flat triad harmony to harmonize that. So drop two.
Okay. Right.
That'll be like a mixture of the drop two
Okay.
harmonizing melody while I'm using that A flat pedal. And those are all drop twos.
Yeah,
but
I see Stephen Mitchell is having a good time over there.
those are all
his face. I see him over there. Stephen Mitchell, you having a good time? Hey, Cyril is just asking, can you play it through just once? Because Alan, I think that would be a great idea. I don't know if you have that MIDI file running. Remember, because you probably didn't.
I do. Yeah, I've been recording the.
Oh, you have. Can you just kind of just finish that let's do this. Let's let Alan just finish that one song because I'm seeing the faces and they're loving the way you're playing this. And they put another please. So maybe if you got the MIDI file running and just kind of just impromptu, just kind of play it for us, and then we'll stop there, everybody, and then we're gonna have him go and talk about something that he shared with me that I think is gonna be a good help for you guys.
Cool.
No. Okay. So thank you, Alan. So guess what? Here's guys. I want to do this. I'm gonna stop his. I'm gonna Alan, go ahead and stop your share, and I want to show you guys something. I'm gonna put something on the screen, and I'm going to do a screen share. Actually, I can stop it. And I'm gonna go here. Okay, I'm going to get this here, and Alan, talk to us more Talk to us more about this for me.
I decided to put a course together, teaching concepts behind drop twos, subdividing harmony, uh, and all the other chapters that are in there. I can't remember. They're listed on there. So it's really all college level material. So it's really different than your regular tutorial where they go over like a song or two. So in this, I really take my time. I go through the theory behind each concept, and then I also provide different examples with like songs and stuff like that to make it more applicable.
Okay, and is it for all levels?
Yes. And with the course, you receive a chapter summary for each chapter, and there's 9 chapters, and you also receive a study guide for each chapter just to make sure that you're practicing the right way and that you're learning it the right way. And plus, there's also a MIDI file that comes with each chapter.
But I do appreciate you for coming here with us and sharing with us. I definitely am going to be looking at some of these things, myself. I have 17 comments. I haven't even been reading them. But it says that one person says he's already managed to sign up. Someone says, thanks, Alan. JR says he got it. It's nice. JR says he's a lot of info. He has it. Mark Krause says he already sent the email because he knows he's going to drop. Yeah, he said, Mark's saying he knows you're going to drop some knowledge in this course. Sherman says that. Hello, everybody. We are at the live training session for members of Sean Wilson Piano. Live trainings are an important part of the membership because they allow us the opportunity to come together, bounce ideas off of each other, and hear from creative and talented musicians. In fact, I'm still reviewing some of the information we've had from some of the past live trainings. And so I know our head is going to explode after this one. And that's because we have Alain Merville with us. And Alan is what I call a technical musician. He has a high amount of technical knowledge and skill. But what's unique about Alan is his ability to break down. I don't know how many of you guys saw when I saw him on Wheatworks the first time. I was just blown away. And I know I said that when I sent that in the email. So I think it's definitely an honor for him to be with us today. And just want to tell you, Alan, thanks again for coming and just sharing your knowledge with us. And thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the great intro.
Yeah, and now I want to say this to members or those who are watching this on the replay. If you're watching this on YouTube, I just want to tell you I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you've chosen to invest your time with us. And I'm glad, and I hope you realize that, by simply exposing yourself sometimes to ideas, that can have an impact on your playing. Obviously, there's some practice too, but just sometimes being exposed to new ideas, there's a great benefit in that. And Alan, I just want to talk to you really quick because we have a lot of musicians who are feeling frustrated. I wanted to start off with the frustration of it because we have a lot of musicians who are feeling frustrated, even members who have possibly joined or non-members who just feel a sense of frustration. They feel like they're not there yet. They feel like, everybody else is blazing. Everybody else is able to do this and that. But like, I can't, have you ever, I'm not the same. I feel like I'm lacking. And I was just wondering if you've ever had that kind of a feeling as far as just that feeling of frustration where you feel like everybody else was doing great and you weren't. Is there a way, can you identify with that frustration in any way?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I know for me, it has a lot to do with your whole mindset and approach to music and what you want to do with music, whether it be a career or whether it be playing at a church or playing for an artist. Just that natural tendency to want to compare yourself to other guys, but sometimes we don't make fair comparisons, like comparing yourself to someone that's been playing there were like 3 or 4, and you've been playing for 3 years.
Right. To get from that point where you didn't know anything or knew very little to where you are now. Can you take us through that journey? Maybe take us to some of your influences, some of the people you were listening to, stuff like that. As far as that journey, can you kind of just tell us a little bit? And it don't have to be the whole thing, but just give us a snapshot of that.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that kind of helps me relate to a lot of my students is that I wasn't born with, or at least I don't think, I wasn't born with any specific musical talents. Like I wasn't born perfect pitch. I wasn't born with photographic memory. I wasn't born into a musical family. I wasn't born into a music scene. I grew up in Connecticut.
Man, this is amazing.
Like not even Hartford, where the pals are, or it was like in Trumbull, Connecticut, and I didn't press a keyboard for until I was 14, going on 15.
Oh, okay. Hold up, guys. Wait, because this is amazing. Because a lot of the people that I've interviewed have been playing since birth. I mean, they came out the womb. The first thing they did was press a key in the piano. But you're saying that you basically went, all the way until you were 14 before you. Now this is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, when I was coming up, the only aside from church, the only things that interest me was basketball and and girls. Other than that,
right.
Music
wasn't it.
No. I was introduced to music only because my parents forced me to take a piano lesson when I was 14, going on 15, and then I took a lesson for 1 year,
okay.
and then I mean learning what C was, learning these 2 black notes, 3 white notes, and then 4 white. I didn't know anything about piano.
Okay.
And then so I took lessons for 1 year, and then my teacher, his name is Carl Shippey. After 1 year of playing, he took me to New York and just threw me in the fire and had me playing lead organ and lead piano.
Oh, wow.
While he was playing drum, and I flamed the whole, because I knew about 3 or 4 chords.
Okay.
And then during the car ride, he would have play records and say, "Can you name these changes and stuff like that?"
Oh, wow.
I don't remember recalling, I don't think I got any of the changes right, just because I didn't know anything really.
But he threw you into a high stakes situation though.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what helped me was that because I started so late, I'm naturally a very competitive person. And so my strongest attribute is my work ethic.
Oh,
and so,
okay.
So there was another friend who his name is Jesse Tate. He was really into Herbie and feel, and so he really ingrained feel for me to the point where for months I would practice the same progressions with the metronome for 45 minutes at a time without moving to another one, just so I can get the same feel over and over and over and over and over again. And so
that's crazy.
So whether it was
but you were practicing for feel, not just notes, because that's an important point to make.
Right, exactly.
Wow.